Hello, and welcome to Roar's Brainworks, where we get creative and see if it works. Today, we are doing the Athena Harness, which Marie is currently wearing right now. I'm the one who made it up. I'm the one who named it. You can be whatever I want. The Athena Harness is a strong yet beautiful torso harness that I saw in a dream not long ago. It was pretty great. For me, usually dreams are a bit of a dangerous place. Speaking of danger, it would be wise to talk about safe, sane, and consensual before we get into it. Safety. Be sure to have some safety shears with you at all times. You can always get a new rope, can't get a new life. And consensual. Me, Marie, and Crochet Rory are all consenting adults. Communication is key. Now, before we take a deep dive into the Athena Harness, we must first thank my sponsors, KnotHead Nylon.
KnotHead Nylon is the destination for all your premium nylon rope bondage needs. Easy to clean, water resistant, up to 1,100 pounds of weight load, and in a wide array of beautiful, vibrant colors, KnotHead Nylon will slake your rope desires. At checkout, put in discount code RORY10 for 10% off.
Now, like I said before, I did see this particular tie in a dream, which is not uncommon for me. It happens quite often, actually. But it wasn't necessarily the tie itself. It was more or less the concept, using a wide weave and a lot of crossover or Munter hitches, which, as you can see up top here, happens quite often. There's about 10, 11 Munter hitches in all. There's a pretty simple weaving pattern. It has a lot of flavor of aesthetic Western rope bondage, but also staying true to some of its roots with the Munter hitches. It just gives it a nice style of old and new kind of meshed together, and I like the sound of that. I named it the Athena Harness because of the warrior woman who was wearing this particular thing in my dream. It was over a leather chest piece, so, you know, it was very Dungeons and Dragons, which is, yet again, on par with what I do. It is structurally sound, very comfortable. Let's get down to it then. Now, you can do this tie with just one rope. However, using just one rope makes it feel less full. And using one rope reduces the surface tension on the body, so the one rope kind of cuts in a little bit deeper, which constricts and restricts a little bit deeper, which can often cause it to be a little less safe. I prefer the two ropes. It feels better. If you got the one rope, by all means, do one rope. Pay a little bit more attention to your body. But if you got the two ropes, well, let's do it from there. I will preface real quick, if you wanted to do it with just the one rope, you take the bite of that rope, wrap it around the neck, and begin that way. But since we got the two, we're going to take the bites in the middle of both our ropes, and we're going to put them together into a square knot. How do you do that? You take one loop, you insert it up and through the other loop. Now, the loop that went through the first one, you're going to reach into, holding their junction with your thumb and finger right here, and then you're gonna grab the other rope like that and pull it through. And once through, you just pull those tight. Square knot. Beautiful. Easy. And we will put that at the base of the back of the neck. To start off, we're gonna do a crossover hitch, or what I will be referring to now as a Munter hitch. We're gonna cross these two. The one that's dominating the other one that's above it, it's gonna go through. I chose to go up through the top. So I like that one for this one, because that way it moves away from the neck. You can start from the bottom and go towards the neck, but we are going to start from the top, go underneath, and then over ourselves. This is why it's called a crossover hitch. Crosses over itself. And then, once again, through the bottom. Now at this point, if you are to pull on these, it is pretty well locked in place. If you add too much of a pull, it might invert itself like that, but we're going to reduce that here in just a second. As we add more points of contact to the rope, as it touches more parts of the body and wraps around it, this will solidify in place. And you might also be thinking to yourself, well, that's a cinch right here. This can go up and down. Yes, but the same thing, as soon as we have points of contact, as soon as we wrap around the body, it will no longer be able to do that. It doesn't have the leverage. So we're gonna go just underneath the armpit and wrap around the back. Once we're around the back, we're just going to cross over just like that and go towards the front again. Easy. And back towards the front. Once we get to this area, we have the ability to tighten on this rope. So we're gonna tighten it up a little bit. Marie, how does that feel? Good. Then we're gonna go up this way. It's essentially gonna do that, but at the points that he intersects, that the ropes intersect these areas, we're going to put Munter hitches on them. So let's do that one at a time. So it's easy to have your partner hold on to this. Murray, hold on to that. Thank you. You're so helpful. Don't get above yourself. Now at this point in time, you need to decide on the symmetry of how you're going to do this. And what I mean by that is which way you want your Munter hitches to go. They all have to be uniform, going the same way. Going the same way on one side and the opposite way on the other side, technically. So I'm going to start by going over and then towards the ground. Put a little tension on that. We're going to then cross over ourselves and then back up this way. Pull from this side, get all that slack out, and then I'm going to tighten up that little Munter. Tighten it up. Place it over the shoulder. Awesome. I'm going to grab the one Marie was holding, tighten that back up. And I like to have this one go under the first one, only because our Munter is going to be going over this one. That way we do under and over to make a more proper weave. So in order for this to be symmetrical, this Munter hitch has to basically follow what this one did, just going in the opposite direction. So I'm not going to be going that way when I go over. I will still be going towards the ground, so I'll cross over, follow away from the neck towards the ground. It'll cross over itself, and then towards the neck, going underneath. I'm going to tighten down that Munter hitch. Wonderful. Good, we have the first part taken care of. Good, we got the first part taken care of. And after we do a little bit of sexiness in the back, it's only gonna get easier from there. So when we come over, we're gonna have these tails cross over. However, they will cross over in a particular way, mostly because we're going to be weaving them through these two strands. So this one will be coming over this way. And since this rope is depressed, it's being pushed down by this one, that means we're gonna uplift our depressed strand here by going underneath it. Which means this one is going to be pushed down. It's going to be grounded. So let's do that right now. This one will cross over. It'll uplift our depressed friend and then ground our other friend here. So that means when this one crosses over to this side, it's going to ground this one and uplift this one. So under, over, under. What goes under must go over. So saith the Rory. Now the reason I did that is because it needs to seem symmetrical throughout. Because what we're about to do just now, since this one over here went under, that means it's going to go over. This went over, it'll go under. Aha! So we're going to take these and go around towards the front, just at the base of the rib cage. So we'll be coming around just like this and going up that way. I'm going to have Marie hold on to that one. Marie, please, thank you very much. Going to tighten on that one a little bit and then up this way. So now we got two strands to work with that we're going to be putting a Munter hitch into. So we started by following this one. We're going to go over and towards the ground on the bottom. Tighten that up a little bit. We're going to cross over ourselves and then go towards the neck and under that way. Tighten down that Munter hitch. Do the same on this one. Over towards the ground on the bottom. Tighten it down a little bit. Cross over towards the neck and under again. Tighten that one down. Place it over the shoulder. Do the next one. Now as I bring this one up, I'm going to stay true to this one that was over here. It went underneath this strand, so same thing. We're going to go underneath that one. Gotta keep up that symmetry. Symmetry is so sexy. Alright, same thing on this side. Over, under towards the ground. Cross over itself towards the neck. Underneath again. Tighten it down. Do you see how simple that is? Great thing about it is it really gives you a structural idea of how Munter hitches work. Who knew if you do something repetitively, you start to understand it more? What a crazy world we live into. Awesome. Now you don't have to worry too much if it's looking slightly messy right now. We'll have plenty of time to fix that in the future when we have one more weave to go. So we've taken these tails towards the back. Let's see what's happening there. Now coming down, we're not going to do another crossover like what happened with this one right here. We're actually just going to follow them down, making sure to weave in and out appropriately for here, and then we'll cross over at the base and then go that way. Let me weave in and out real quick. If the neighbor rope went over, that means we start by going under. Also a simple thing to help, you don't have to pull through immediately through this first one. We know we're going to be going over, so we're going to be going under again. So pull through that, and then you can pull through both of them at the same time. Ah, helpful. it saves you a small amount of time. Now all this needs to do is follow its neighbor rope. Since the neighbor rope went under, we're going to go over and just underneath this one because we'll be going over the next one. Always keep your ropes straight, otherwise it gets uncomfy. Now, since this one went under, it's going to be going over next. Over. Why do we do this? Why am I crossing down here now? Well, it creates a tight pattern. It makes it so it can't go awkwardly. If we were to take it the other way, this is what happens. This one is unbound. It can do whatever the hell it wants to. This way, as it's supposed to be, the weave is locking it in place. It doesn't allow it to get too wonky, and it looks beautiful. So let's follow these ropes back towards the front. Now, once we're back to the front, we're gonna do the same thing that happened here. It's gonna be relatively self-explanatory. This rope right here will follow its neighbor rope up this way. And as it does it, it's going to pass by these two strands right here, putting in Munter hitches. However, before it can do that, it needs to follow the rules of weave. Its neighbor rope went over. That means it must go under at this point. But we can resume doing the Munter hitches up this way. Just so. Same thing with this rope. It's going to follow in the weave right here. Its neighbor rope went over and then under, so it'll go under and over, and then it'll Munter hitch its way up. And like so. And just so, we are done there. Let's finish it off in the back. The same rules apply here. We're just gonna weave it on down. Wonderful. Now what do we do with this spot down here? Now you can just make it easier on self. Put them together, wrap them around, make a loop. Overhand knot. Is it the most beautiful? No. Is it the easiest? Absolutely. You can square knot, surgeon knot. Hell, you can even double coin knot, which is what I like to do. I have a video of how to do that on this channel. If you have any homework rope, you can see what you can do with it. Otherwise, I think I left enough homework rope that it is applicable for this tie to be used on all body types. I think I have enough left over to where that is a thing. If not, well, add more rope. The more rope, the merrier. Well, hey, I hope you enjoyed learning from that tutorial as much as we did teaching it to you. Well, Marie said she wanted to go out and battle those capable of defeating her, so I suppose she's out fighting children in the neighborhood. I hope she doesn't. Anywho, I'd be remiss if I did not bring up my other lovely sponsors today, the wonderful people who are at Patreon. That's patreon.com/Rory'sBrainWorks, just like this YouTube channel. They are my rope and video game vanguard, my colonizers of dreams. And without them, the ropey and video game videos that I make would be way harder to accomplish. Thank you for spending your time with me. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this madness, and comment down below what kind of ropey things you would like us to teach you in the future. As always, I'm Rory. This is our brain. I'm fairly certain it works. Be safe and go create some art.